Okay, so when you think about organizations that rescue kids from trafficking, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Usually it's those dramatic rescues, right? Big moments, lots of emotion, maybe like something you'd see in a movie. And look, that's often the perception of their amazing work. But what if that's only, scratching the surface? What if there's a whole other layer to it, deeper, way more complex, and almost totally hidden from view? Today, we're doing a deep dive into one specific group, the Child Recovery Agency. And our mission really is to look beyond those very public efforts. We want to understand the hidden strategies that honestly might be what make them truly effective against these global networks. Strategies that are vital but almost invisible. We're basing this on some really interesting excerpts from the Child Recovery Agency's covert operations. Okay, let's unpack this because here's where it gets really interesting. So, the agency is, as you'd expect, primarily known for rescuing children. The source actually says rescuing and recovering trafficked or abducted children. And that's absolutely critical work, no doubt about it. Very visible, very immediate impact. But the source also says that this is often the most visible and straightforward part of what we do, which immediately makes you think, okay, what else is going on? What's the less straightforward part?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where this source gets fascinating. It pivots right away. It emphasizes that, and I'm quoting here, the true complexity of our work lies in our second, more specialized domain, clandestine and covert operations.
Clandestine and covert. Okay.
Right. And it's really important to stress these aren't some kind of off-the-books vigilante thing. The source is very clear. They happen under strict memorandums of understanding, MOUs, with relevant authorities and partners.
MOUs. So formal agreements, basically, defining the rules of engagement.
Precisely. Formal agreements that outline cooperation, boundaries.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely crucial when you're operating in these, well, incredibly sensitive areas. And if you think about what that means, these operations, they go far beyond typical recovery missions. They're described as being strategically designed to operate beneath the surface, often in high-risk environments.
Beneath the surface. Okay, so what's the goal then, if it's not just the immediate rescue?
It's much broader. The source lists things like gathering intelligence, tracking networks, and neutralizing threats associated with trafficking rings.
So it's about dismantling the whole system.
Exactly. It's not just pulling a child out of danger, which is paramount, of course. It's about taking apart the infrastructure that allows these horrible things to happen in the first place.
So what does this all mean for what they actually do? You mentioned clandestine and covert. The source gives us a really important distinction there, right, between those two.
It does, and it's a crucial one. They aren't interchangeable terms, at least not for this agency. Let's start with clandestine operations. The source says these are entirely concealed.
Entirely. So, like, nobody knows anything.
Pretty much. It's not just that the details of the mission are secret. Even the fact that an operation is occurring is intended to remain unknown to outside parties.
Wow.
Yeah. The source calls them deeply covert. And they're typically used, it says, when exposure could jeopardize lives, international relations, or ongoing intelligence efforts. Think of it as like, well, like a ghost operation. It happens, but there's no trace it ever did.
Okay, that's one level. What about covert, then? How's that different?
So covert operations are, according to the source, slightly more visible. Slightly. Meaning it may be known that some form of action is taking place. Maybe there are observable effects. But, and this is key, the identity of the sponsors or the specific methods used remain classified.
Okay. So people might know something happened, but not who did it or exactly how.
That's the idea. The objective is to maintain plausible deniability while achieving mission goals discreetly. Plausible deniability is the key phrase there.
Got it. So clandestine, totally hidden. Covert, the action might be noticed, but the who and how are kept secret.
You've got it. Two distinct layers of operating below the radar.
That's a fascinating distinction. And it just screams complexity. I mean, how does an organization even prepare for that kind of work? The level of expertise, the cooperation needed, it must be immense.
Oh, absolutely. The source is quite clear on this. It requires, and I quote, advanced planning, specialized training, and a strong network of legal and governmental cooperation.
Right. This isn't something you just decide to do one day.
Not at all. It points to incredibly sophisticated long-term development of capabilities and relationships. You need people with very specific skills. You need watertight operational security, and you need that buy-in from official channels, those MOUs we talked about.
Just imagining the planning for an operation where its very existence has to be denied.
Yeah.
That's next level.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that the source suggests, is where the agency truly sets itself apart. It operates in this shadowy, complex world of high-stakes intervention, essentially working silently to dismantle trafficking networks and protect the most vulnerable, all while remaining unseen.
So the big takeaway here, the real aha moment, seems to be this huge gap, right, between the public image, the visible rescues, which are heroic, and these deep hidden operations. Operations that are maybe even more critical for actually stopping these trafficking networks long term. It's not just recovery, it's disruption, dismantling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It fundamentally changes how you might think about this kind of humanitarian work, doesn't it? It makes you appreciate the sheer scale of effort that goes on completely unseen, not just here, but likely in combating many global issues. Knowing about these different layers, like clandestine versus covert, it just gives you a much richer picture of how these battles are actually fought, often in the shadows, by people whose successes we'll probably never hear about.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other vital work is happening right now, completely off our radar, succeeding because it stays hidden? And what does that tell us about, the real nature of conflict and how solutions are found, or maybe have to be found, in today's world? It kind of reframes things, doesn't it? A whole hidden layer to how things actually get done.